Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. I produce content to help artists to discover what kind of art they want to make, what kind of art they want to sell, what kind of artist they want to be. How can we all win as artists? I love motivating other people, and I'm just sharing what I'm learning. And if you like that kind of thing, then subscribe and hit the bell notifications so that you can see when I put new videos out. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about money today. And I know that that is sort of a taboo subject among artists, even though there are probably hundreds of videos of people talking about how artists can make money. One thing that I see a lot is artists sort of burning themselves out because they're on this production wheel. And I have almost fallen into that trap myself. Actually, I have a few different times. And so I've been thinking about how can an artist really succeed? This thought just popped in my head as I've been kind of mulling it over. And I remembered a few years ago, there was this concept that I think has become really popular over the years, and it's the 1,000 True Fans concept. It's based on an essay by Kevin Kelly that was written in 2008. And the basic idea is that a person who is creative, a creator, a photographer, an artist, a musician, anyone who does creative work, they only need 1,000 true fans to make a living. Now, these fans are fans that will buy just about anything that you produce because they like you. And during this time that the essay was written, there was still Facebook and MySpace. I don't think Instagram existed yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Instagram came out in like 2012 or something like that. But anyway, social media was not what it is now. I think it has become this monster that now it is sort of hard to connect with people. People want to blame the algorithm. I don't necessarily buy into that. Whatever the case is, it has become harder to connect with people because there's so many people on social media, and the purpose has sort of been lost, right? All of us are sort of vying for attention, and there's not so much connection going on, at least from what my experience has been and what I've seen a lot of people saying, people who are leaving social media. So I think that in the early days of social media, this 1,000 true fan model would have worked really well and probably did work for a lot of artists. And maybe for some people, it's still working. How can you make this work if you're not on social media? So the last video that I did on the topic of making a living as an artist or becoming successful, selling your work, someone commented, and it made me think about something that I wanted to discuss in this video. Anyway, hey, it's Editing Spring here. What I was trying to explain is that every artist needs a specific group of people that love their work. And I'm going to explain the definition of that that's coming up. Of course, it's a niche, and I don't really like to use that term, but I think it can be valuable if you know the correct definition, which we're going to talk about right now. A niche is a particular audience or clients or fans. They are into something that draws them together as a group. So I think it's good for us to think about this as any group of people who are interested in something where they will get together and converse about it. They'll pay for live events. They will buy products around it. They will have fan clubs, things like that. So I think of like Trekkies. I think of fans of sports teams. I also think of fans of certain like musicians, especially iconic musicians like the Beatles, or like any, insert any name there, right? Something that's really iconic. These fans are crazy about the things that they're into. And if you can somehow connect to that, it doesn't have to be big. It can even be something local. It can even be people who are into conservation and nature in a local area, and you're going to create work around them. So it doesn't have to be a large fan base. Remember, we're talking about 1,000 true fans. So what you're looking for is sort of a convergence between what you like and what some other group of people like. You might be really into cooking, right? Yeah, cooking. Cooking is a good one, I think so, yeah. But it's a particular sort of cooking. Maybe it's baking, or maybe it's French cuisine. So you're going to look for organizations that have like competitions, things that people gather around. And when these people get together, they love to talk about these things. They spend time and effort on it. They feel proud of their creations, and you see where I'm going with this, right? So if you have art and you love to create art around this sort of thing, like you like to create culinary art, well, then that is very obvious. Like it goes well together, and show up in places where these people are going to be. So that is how you start to build a fan base. And it's not easy. I think for most of us, we really have trouble choosing what thing that we actually want to do. What thing do we actually want to stick to and keep doing, at least for a year or two? And it's so incredibly hard. It's also hard to engage with people because I think our world has become very insular because of the internet. We have ways of communicating in which we don't have to necessarily go out and talk to people. The drawback of that is that we try to do everything that way. And some things we really do need to get out. And I appreciate watching artists on YouTube that go to art openings, and they try to get involved in their local community. I was involved in the local arts community to some extent, and it did help me to make connections with people that I'm still benefiting from to this day. It's a tough road. It's not going to be easy for us, but it can be simple. So just to recap, 1,000 true fans. The concept is that a creator only needs to acquire 1,000 fans in order to make a living. And you can definitely do this. It will take time, but start with a small group of people who gather around a particular thing, whether it be sports or music or some particular cause, and show up in those places and see how you can help them. Don't even necessarily show up with your art, but see if you like being around those people and if you feel inspired by the things that they are talking about and the things that they feel passionate about, and then you can create work around that particular thing. And in my other video, I did mention fan art. That would also be sort of a 1,000 true fans thing. Now, a caveat for that is that if it is fan art that is based on something that is already art, like fan art of an artist, like comic books or something like that, yeah, of course, there's going to be a lot of competition in that area, even though it's a very small, sort of relatively small group of people who are really into it. There's a lot of people who are creating fan art. And so unless you're doing something that is unique, you may get lost in the fray. Or if you just show up at all of the things, then maybe you might be able to garner some fans. But something should be unique about what you're doing and not just copying what you see, for obvious reasons, you know, copyrights and different things like that, but also because there's so much competition for it. So I hope that this was valuable to you guys, and let me know in the comments, have you started to build a fan base? Maybe you have and you don't even realize it, that you have these people who are willing to support you no matter what you create, because they like you and they also like what you create. How do you feel about connecting with people in real life? Do you prefer that, or do you prefer online interaction? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's on YouTube, named Fiona C, and she does videos about life as an artist. You know, she takes us along with her to art openings and exhibits. And she did one that was really cool. It was like a big art store. She is a painter. She paints on canvas, all sorts of surfaces, a muralist. Really cool work. So I was happy to get this. So here's a good example of how you cultivate fans. Look at that. So these are postcards. Wow, this is amazing. So it says, Spring, thank you for being part of my YouTube family. And this actually has her website on here. Thank you for supporting my art. This is very, very beautiful. And so these are just cards that no doubt I will share with my friends and family, or put them into my journals for junk journaling, which I love to do. But it's so personal, and I'm so privileged to have won these. And you never know, like, how your work is going to affect someone else. So this is really cool. Thank you, Fiona. If you watch this video, your work is amazing. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.